Okay, can we start the class now? Okay, okay. Is it fine now? Still low. Okay, I'll try to speak it louder. Okay, so today we will discuss in Python data types. Okay, data types in Python. Okay, so whenever we create any program in any language, we need to store the data. Okay, store data. And how we store data? We store data inside a container. Okay, and in technically these containers are known as variables, right? And for data, whatever data we will store inside this container, so based on the nature of the data, we have different types of containers. Okay, for example, when you are creating any program, let's suppose we are creating Python program, so we required three things. Program, if we talk about program life cycle, so we require at least three things. First thing is, which is input. Okay, so it will take the input. Second is it process the input. It will process the input. And the third thing is it will produce the output. Right? So input is nothing but in the form of input, we are giving the data. Okay, let's suppose I have to multiply 2 into 10. Okay, I want to perform multiplication of this 2 into 10. So here what I'm giving the input. Okay, this is my first input, this is my second, and now process part will come. In processing, what will happen? Whatever calculation we have to do, it will perform, and in output it will give the result. Okay, so result will be like this. So for example, you are giving the first value and second value. So for this value, for holding this value, we need variable. Why? Because this value like 2 or 10, whatever value we give, it is stored inside a memory. Okay, so it will store inside the memory, so it will reserve some space. Okay, so if you are writing here 2, so 2 cannot take space inside the memory directly. So if you are writing here a is equals to 2, so here a is a variable or container which will reserve space inside the memory. Okay, and this is known as value. Sometimes we call it data, sometimes we call it literal. And variable, sometimes we call this variable as a container. Okay. So for example, you are writing here a is equals to 2. So what will happen inside the memory? Inside the memory, it will take some space. Okay. So this block will create, and this block value is 2. Let's suppose address is 1000, and the name of this block is a. Okay, so like that it will store. And when we create the variable, okay, so this type of variable, like we talk about integer variable or a scalar variable. So these are nothing but immutable. These are nothing but immutable. Might be a little confused like what is it? But immutable means, for example, whenever you are whenever you are creating a variable, okay, so it will take its memory, okay, and it cannot change. Once you declare a variable, it cannot change. Suppose if you are writing here a is equals to 2, right, and you are writing a is equals to like 3. So it is not like in memory only one block is created. In memory it will create two blocks. One is for a and one is for another a. So first is occupying 1000, let's suppose, and it will occupy 2000. So previously value is 2, now value is this. Okay, but because we have reassigned this, so new block is created. But both are having different address. But we will feel like in programming means if we are seeing this representation, so we are seeing like only one block we have created a, but a has created two times. Why? Because we have given different values. Because it support immutability. Immutability means you cannot change. Immutability means you can't change, right? Okay, let's suppose I'm creating here a is equals to 10. So what will happen here? One block will create in a memory. Okay, the value is 10. Okay, again I am writing here a is equals to 10, and again I am writing here b is equals to 10. So what will happen here? Can you give uh, can you tell me your observation? What do you think? Yes, correct. So if the variable having the same name, okay, so it will not create different block for each value. So similarly here, it will this a will also find this particular block because it will also have the same ID. Okay, and if we talk about this b, so b will also point out this same block, and the ID of b will be 1000. Right? And there is a method called ID. If you will write the variable name here, so it will tell the ID. And if you have to make sure like both variable having the same ID on, so you can use this ID method. Okay. So based on the value of the data, we have divided the data types into different category. So the first category of data is the scalar data type. Okay, so what are the scalar data types which works on single value, single data or single value, right? So if we talk about this scalar category, so we have like different types of data type here. Like we have integer, okay, and next we have float, right? And Python is one dynamic programming language. Means here data binding happen at runtime means you don't need to declare the type of the variable. For example, you are creating here name is equals to like for example I'm writing so you don't need to mention here type like str or something. Okay, it is not required. Python can automatically understand the variable nature by its value. And if I'm writing here like age is equals to 10, okay, so it will automatically give the type to this variable. So we don't need to mention it explicitly. Okay, so we have other data type like complex data type we have, and after that we can say we have another data type which is boolean, and next is null type. Okay, so integer example is like suppose these value 10, 20 and 30 etc. So these are nothing but integer value, and if you're writing decimal values like 0.5, 1.6, so these are what float values. And if we talk about complex, so in complex we have two part. One is real part and second is what imaginary. Okay, in general mathematics we define the complex number and the imaginary part of the complex number, real imaginary. So we represent imaginary part with iota, the I symbol. But here in Python, we don't use I, we use J here. So for example, I have to represent complex numbers, so I will write here like this. So this part is the real part of the complex number, okay, and this part is what imaginary, okay. And now let's talk about boolean. So boolean means here you will get two values, either true or false, either zero or one. Okay, here you will see true or false. Okay, so whatever the expression evaluates, conditions evaluate, it also evaluate in which category. For example, if I am writing here 2 is equals to 2, so the answer will be true. It could be true or it could be false. So what it is evaluating in which form? It is evaluating in Boolean form. Right? If I am writing here 2 what is equals to 2. So this is also Boolean answer. The answer is what? For example, if you are writing here if condition and if condition you are mentioning here equals to. So what is the mean of this? It's mean true. True means evaluate the condition. True means evaluate the condition. Right? And there is one more thing. For example, in if condition, if you are writing here 0, so 0 also Boolean, but it represents to the false. Okay. Other than 0, if you will write any value here, like 1, so it is what true. This is a true value. Okay. For example, if you are writing here if condition minus 20, so what do you think? Is it true or false? Yeah, this is also true. Any value other than 0 is true in Python or in condition. So, but these all expressions, these all values are in Boolean form, right? Null type. Null type means, for example, you don't know any variable value. So what you can do, you can keep it null. Okay, so whenever you will check the type of this age, so it will tell you the null type. Right, so this is a category of scalar data, and there is function here. There is method called type. So if you want to check any variable's type means nature, so you can use this. But if you want to print the value of the variable, so you can use the print function. Right? Let's suppose, for example, I have a I have a numbers like p is equals to 2 plus 5g. Okay, so I want to print the real part. I want to print the real part. So what I will write? I will write here b dot real. I have to print the imaginary part. So I will write here b dot img. I have to print the complete value. So I will write here print. I have to check the type. So I will write here type. Now I have to check the memory address or memory ID. So I will use the ID method. Okay, so these are the things we can use, right? For each data type, for each variable, we can see this real and imaginary is possible in case of complex. Okay, but these things we can do any variable, right? Now let's talk about another data type, another group of data type, which is nothing but collection data type. Is my voice is clear and loud? Okay. Okay, collection data type. So when we talk about collection data type, so it is divided into three categories. Okay, second category and third category. So the first category now name is we call it sequence. Call it sequence. Second category is we call it sets. And the third one is mapping. Okay, let's talk about this sequence data type. Okay, sequence data type means where data is storing in a particular sequence. Okay, data is storing in a sequence. So here we talk about like list. Here we have data type like list. List data type we have where we will store all the values in the form of list. Then we have like tuple data type, and this is very famous questions like what's the difference between list and tuple? Interview, any of the interviewer asks. But we will see that questions as well. And we have another data type which is range. And range is very useful when we talk about iterations and looping. Okay, so means from which range to which range I have to generate the value. So this range data type we use that time, and we have another data type which is str. Okay, what I said, a scalar data type which is containing only single value. A scalar data type work on single value. Created list, yes. So here integer it will store single value. I mean float it will also store the single value. Complex it will also store the single value. Actually this is a single value but it is having, but ultimately we'll call it single value. This boolean also single value. None type also single value. But here whatever we are discussing this is a list of value. And a string also list of value. For example if you are writing ABC, so this is a more than one, means this is a sequence. But if you will write here A, so it will also consider as the sequence. Okay, so because it comes under the sequence data. Okay, next we can say we have another data type which is byte. Okay, so this is bytes. We are storing data in the form of bytes array. Okay, we have bytes and we have another thing which is bytes array. Okay, now we have set. Okay, set, the nature of set is it does not allow any duplicate value. Okay, so here we have set, inside the set category, we have two things. One is set itself, and the second is froze, what we call it frozen set. Right. And in mapping, mapping data type is nothing but here we talk about dictionary data type, dict data type. Okay, dictionary data type means which is having some key and values. For example, okay, whenever you will write the this dictionary data type, you will use the curly braces. If you will use the empty curly braces, so this is also known as dictionary, dict data type. Dict means dictionary data. And if you are writing here key like name, okay, so name and value you are writing. Okay, suppose value is, okay, let's suppose value, suppose I'm writing here Raj. So this is nothing but this is the key and this is the value, right? And this is nothing but separate. This is nothing but separate. Okay, and in dictionary we have different methods as well, like print keys and print values. Like we have methods like dot keys, but we will learn it when whenever we will discuss dictionary data type for information and tagging, like values, like item methods we have, like clear method, like get method. So we will use these methods when we will write the code. Just an overview. Okay, and set. When we talk about the set data type, so all here also we use the curly braces. But if you will use the curly braces empty, so it will treat as the dictionary data. Okay, so here you need to mention at least one way. Now this is the set data type. The set also we write using the curly braces, but there should be any value inside it. Empty curly braces will treat as a dictionary, right? And if we talk about frozen data type, so for creating the frozen data type, you need to call one data type which is frozen set. And here you can create a list of values you can create inside this frozen data type. Okay. And let me talk about list. So list is nothing but list of values. The tuple is nothing but with the help of parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis, if you are writing any value, so that is known as tuple value. And range, in range we have, okay, this is a data type, but we have a separate discussion on this range data type. Basically, when we talk about range data type, so we have a start value. We mention the start. Okay, we mention the start. Okay, after start we will mention the condition, or we can say stop where you want to stop. And the next is you will, I think here this column will not, comma will, right? And third is what is step. Okay, so start means, for example, I want to generate values from 1 till which point you want to generate. So I want to generate values till 20. Okay, how many steps you want to take? You want to take one step. One step means, for example, this is one step. Okay, and like that we have this is the last 20th space. I mean 20th step. So if you are taking this, so you will write here. Means if you are going like this. So one step we are going. But if you are writing like this, so means you are skipping one step, you are directly jumping on second step. So here you will mention step is what, here is also step is what, step is 2. Okay, so like that we have to mention the step, right? And now we have a string data type. String means like collection of, we can say, values. Okay, but in a string also we have different categories. In a string also we have different categories if we talk about string. Okay, so it is a collection of values. Okay, but if your values are like numbers, okay, like if you're writing here inside the single quote or double quote, if you're writing 1 2 3, so this type of string, the type of this value is string because we are writing inside single quote. If you will check the if you will check the type of this data, it will be string. But what type of string it is? It is numerical string. Okay, and if you are writing like like nk 1 2 3, so this is also an string data, but this is known as alphanumeric. Okay, and if you are writing normally ABC, okay, so this is known as alphabetic string. Okay, so this is a category we can write for the string, and for the string we can use double quotes. Okay, we can use the single quotes, and we can use triple single quotes. Okay, and apart from this, we can use double quotes. Okay, so for example, whenever you want to write a documentation or technical documentation while creating the software, so generally we use this documentation string, or we can say triple quote string. Okay, because it allows us to write multiple lines. It allows us to write multiple lines of it. Okay, so this is how we can write the string. And we have byte data. So byte means we can, okay, so byte means whenever you will write the byte data, you have to mention the initial. Okay, means you will mention like if you are storing byte data like a is equals to, you are writing hello. So this hello is nothing but this is a string data. But if you want to convert it into bytes data type, so what you will do, you will write here just b. If you will add here b initial, so it will become as a byte data, right? And if you want to create the byte array, so you will write here like b is equals to byte array. Okay, so inside this byte array method, we will write values. Okay, so for each data type, we will have a detailed discussion. So we will discuss in depth. Just I'm telling you the category. Like if we talk about data types, so we have different three categories. First is sequence, second is set, and third is mapping. Inside the sequence data type, we have list, tuple, range, okay, and string, byte, byte array. And inside the set, we have set and frozen set. And then we have dictionary. Dictionary is nothing but a mapping collection. And then we have this scalar data type. The scalar values we have, like integer, float, okay, boolean, none type. So these are what scalar data type. Okay. So let me open the IDLE. Okay. So when we talk about ideally, when we talk about ideally, it is nothing but what is ideally? Do you have idea? What is the full form of it? Yes, integrated development, here learning environment. Okay, generally you see ID. So ID is nothing but a code editor. So here the full form is integrated development environment where you can develop the software. Okay, it provides the execution environment, development environment. So this is nothing but ID. But in case of Python, we download the Python software, so it comes with ideally. Okay, ideally comes into two category. I mean two things. It comes with two things. Like we can say we have here two modes. One is interactive modes to write the program. Okay, and sometimes we call it Python shell. And second is programmable mode or programming mode. Okay, so programming mode, or we can call it scripting mode. Okay, for example, if you have to test the commands, you have to test the data type, you are writing a small code. So at that time you can use, for testing purpose you can use Python shell or interactive mode. But if you have to write 1,000 lines of program, or if you have to design a software, so you may consider the programming, right? So here we are seeing this is what interactive mode. Okay, here we will write the command and we will see the output. Okay, here we are writing input and we are getting output in second time. Okay. So this is what we are doing. We are basically performing some kind of testing. We are not writing a big code. So here we go. And this greater than symbols are nothing but chevron prompt. Okay. So this is a thing. So like for example, if we have to check uh, age equals to 10, so type of a it will tell, type of a it will tell integer. Okay, and what is the id of a? Id of a is this. Okay, b is equals to 20, type of b is a, id of b is, oh sorry, I have written wrong. I have checked type of a, but let's check the type of b, which is integer, and id of b. So id of b, okay, okay, I have given the different value, so the id is different. Here id is different, here id is different, a id is different. Let's suppose I'm creating a variable called c, and in c I'm writing the same value. Okay, type, we already know type is what, but let's check the id. So it is having the same id, right? For example, if I write here c is equals to 30, so if I check the id of c, so you will see this c, this c, and this c, both are different. Okay? Both are taking different memory location. But when you are giving the same value, and no matter what is the variable, it will point out to the same memory block. Okay? Let's talk about this type 2.3. So this is what float data type. Okay, and let's talk about type. Type is what, like 2 is equals to is equals to 2. So this is a boolean type. If I write here type is what true. So true is also a boolean type. And if we will write here false, false is also boolean type, right? Okay. If I'm creating a complex number, okay, see now. Okay, so I'm creating a complex number, and here I'm writing 2 plus 5j. If you will check the type c underscore number, so it is complex type. Okay, if you will print c underscore num, so it will print complete. But if you want to print the imaginary part or real part, so what you will write? You will write here c underscore num dot real. If you want to print c underscore num dot imaginary, so you will write I. I think this is the wrong way. C underscore num dot. Okay, so you will write I am age. So this is printing the, what we can say, imaginary part. Okay. For example, I am writing here C is equals to 2j or 3j. Okay, so if you will check the type of this, so this is also complex type. If you will print the real part, so can you please tell me what will be the real part? Yes, it will be 0. And if you will write here c dot image, so it will print the imaginary part, because we are not giving real part, so it will consider it by default, right? So like that we can check. Okay, so for example, if I am writing here type curly braces, what it will print? Yes, it will print the dictionary data type. Okay, and if I am writing here type and parenthesis, so it will print tuple. If I write here type curly braces, it will print list. If I write here type and double quotes, it will print string. If I write here type triple double single quote, so still it is string. If we will write here double quotation, so this is also string. If we will write here type triple double quotation, so this is also a string type, right? And if I write here type set, okay, so it will print type is what set. If I'm printing here like frozen set, spelling wrong. So it is printing type is what frozen set. Okay, type is, I'm writing here B L. So what is the type of this? What is the type of, yes, yes. So this is bytes. Okay, for byte array we have byte array method. So the type of this byte array, right? So if I'm writing here type and empty curly braces, I mean empty square bracket. So this is what list. Okay, and when you're creating the list, like a is equals to, okay, let's suppose you are creating a is equals to 10 comma 20 comma 30. So can you guess the type now? Yes, it will be double. We are separating value with comma, so it will be double. Yes. Okay, and if you want to create the list data type, so we need to write square bracket. Okay, and here you can use the methods, like if you want to print the first value, you can use the indexing also, because it allows sequence data types allow indexing. Okay, suppose I have to print the first position value of the list. List is nothing but like an array, sequence of values like an array. Here we call it list. Suppose if you want to print the last value, so what we will write, we can write the minus index. Okay. And if you want to check the how many values are there in list, so you can use the len. Okay. And if you don't want to use this negative index, so what you can do, you can write here print p length of p minus 1. Okay, now right now we can say like we can count the index, but when data is huge, data and like list of data is used. For example, there is a products data, there is customers data in lakhs of lakhs entries we have. So that time we will not able to predict the last value. So this is also we can use to the data. So what it is doing, length is go. Okay, so it is printing. Yes, we are printing. Yes, we are printing the last value. Okay. So do you have any doubt till now? Okay, okay. So can we end class here because I have to ready for the office actually. Okay. Thank you for joining. Yes, yes, please ask. Right, right now I'm having three classes in morning like this, 6 a.m. and then we have 7:30 and then we have 9 p.m. For that I will like I have a plan to start front end. I mean full month stack including front end, but I will make my schedule ahead. I have a planning. I already planned the syllabus and all, but I need just a free time to start it. But I'll inform you whenever it starts. Yes, I'll try to keep it in morning if possible. Thank you.